Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So good afternoon, all present. So as you know that today uh, we are going to schedule a alumni panel discussion with you all because we all know institutions alumni are key to its growth. Okay, we welcome as well as current students to this webinar. Okay, so let me introduce one by one Ankit Pati, Jay Patankar, and Avisha. So Ankit Pati is a professional coder and currently working as full stack engineer at Comscore, measuring and reporting theoretical viewership across North America. Previously worked at Samsung on the camera app for all Samsung phones and at Broadcom and Symantec on email security. He is also an open source contributor and author on GitHub and has contributed to the popular projects like Genie and Homebrew, among others, which run on millions of Linux and Mac OS. He is a name that has acquired quite the readership over the years. So we welcome Mr. Ankit Pati, who is our proud alumni. And along with Ankit Pati, we are having with us Mr. Jay Patankar. And Jay Patankar is our proud alumni. And let's listen about Jay Patankar also. He is gaming lead Makers Lab Tech Mahindra. He has been making games since he started learning how to code. He has been coding since 2013, means 2013, and have made several games throughout. In his school days, he made a logo quiz and a multiple type of quizzing app. He joined Symbiosis Institute of Technology in Information Technology stream and created some games during his time here. Okay, and he is working with tech. We are having with us Mr. Avisha. He is our uh, uh, current student also, and Avisha is, if I talk about Avisha, and Avi is founder and CEO of startup of $1 million evaluation reviewer rewards, where they try to gap the bridge between the consumer and manufacturer. Okay, and giving the incentives to the whole process of reviewing product and enhancement and consumer satisfaction. You understand the thing that he is a student also and a very renowned entrepreneur also. He is an developer with a demonstrated history of working in utilities industries. He is skilled in much valuable students and our proud alumni. So we will listen by them their journey at here, or how they turn from a student to a successful entrepreneur and a good professional. Okay, then if you are having any query, just keep posting in your chat box, and after their discussion, after their introduction and listen about themselves, then we will take your queries. And it is very good platform so that you can interact with your seniors. Okay, if you are having any query, then keep writing your messages, writing your queries, writing your compliments, and whatsoever the comments are there, write in the chat box. We will take one by one after let them complete their talk. Okay, so I would like to invite Ankit first. Ankit, please tell us about yourself and your journey from a student to a successful professional. Uh, Over to you, Ankit.
Okay, so as a student, I joined SIT in 2014, and it was a very welcoming environment. As I mean, of course, many of you have not made it to the campus right now due to the lockdowns. So uh, you're missing out on that. But whenever the lockdown eases, definitely visit the campus, even if classes are not in full swing, when once the lockdown eases, or let's say the virus, and when you're vaccinated, definitely visit the campus, because that's one of the biggest draws of the college. So okay, so is this audio glitch okay? um can everyone hear me?
Yes, Ankit, we are able to hear you.
Oh, okay. There's some people are reporting an audio glitch. Is it for everyone or just a few people?
It's
Okay,
audible,
no,
Ankit.
it's
It's
fine.
audible. Everything is
Okay,
fine.
right, right, fine. Um, so the thing is, the campus is one of, yeah. Okay, nice. Thank you. Uh,
Sorry to interrupt you, Ankit. I just wanted to ask you whether you want to share something like, do you want to share PPT or it's
PPT.
fine?
I don't have a PPT to share
No, it's
actually.
okay. I just wanted to ask you. You can continue. You can continue.
I mean, yeah, if I want to share, I'll probably share my GitHub profile
Right, right.
a little while later. But right now, let's just start with my student
Okay.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Uh, so the thing is, I mean, it's a very conducive environment for learning. You'll get, I mean, you'll get all the modern facilities. You'll get high-speed internet, pretty much unrestricted, except a few things. So it's very conducive to learning, and you should definitely. The first thing I'll suggest uh, for CS and IT students especially is you definitely should create a GitHub profile right in the first year. Okay, and you can fill it up with whatever is being done in the coursework. I mean, I'm not even expecting everyone to come up with their own ideas right in the first year, but you should definitely have whatever, like you'll have CP for, I mean, computer programming in C. So whatever you code you write, you just put it on GitHub, right? So that's what I did, and that gave me. So the thing is, GitHub is just a particular brand of hosting for Git projects, but Git itself is an industrial, uh, you know. Um, it's widely used in the industry. Where whichever company you go to, you will definitely find Git. Okay, so you should familiarize yourself with that. So that's what I did, and then in the second year onwards, once we got into the department, I was uh, I even carried out some of the classes. Like, I taught Python to my own batch. So you can explore. You'll get a lot of opportunities if you talk to the teachers, if you talk to HOD ma'am, Ambika ma'am. You'll get a lot of opportunities if you have ideas to conduct classes or conduct sessions for your own class or for your juniors. You'll definitely get opportunities and make good use of that. And then in the third year, I got an internship at Symantec. You'll have your internships in the fourth year. I think seventh or eighth semester. Is it, ma'am? Yeah,
Yes, eighth
eighth semester.
semester.
Yeah, eighth semester now. We had it in the sixth semester. So I got the internship in the third year, and at Symantec, it was a very wonderful experience. A lot to learn, and so that basically got converted into a job offer as well in the fourth year, which will be a lot easier for you folks because you'll have the continuity. You can say that, okay, 6 months of internship and then just give the job offer and we'll continue. I had that 1 year break in between because I had to complete my fourth year at college. So you'll have it easier, hopefully. And then it's once in the industry, it's you know a lot to learn and a lot to contribute to, and a lot of development also as a person, as I professionally also. uh, so I mean, technologies wise, yes, Git is something you can start right off. Okay, and then also you should switch to Linux for development, because you'll get maximum number of jobs come. I mean, they require you to have Linux knowledge. Okay, even if sometimes they'll give you Windows laptops for the corporate jobs, ultimately you just have to use PuTTY or SSH to connect to a Linux server and do your job. So that is one of the, the second most important technology, I would say, after Git. You start with Git, then you learn Linux, and then whatever you feel interested in. If you are interested in ML, AI, then go for Python. If you're interested in systems programming like me, then study C, C++, Rust nowadays, Rust and Go, these things. And then, so yeah, that's it. That's my experience summed up in short. Do you have any questions or anything?
Ankit, I think questions we can take at the end. Let Jay and Avi finish,
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
Cherry ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So we would like to invite Jay now so that he can discuss his journey from Symbiosis to company MNCs. After that, we will ask Avi to share his views. Okay. Afterwards, we will take all the queries of the students.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I audible first of all?
Yes, you are audible.
Great,
Welcome.
great.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, my journey began in 2015. I was very hopeless, first of all, about my prospects in getting a college, but luckily I got into Symbiosis SIT, and that too IT. Means I was confused between CS and IT at that time. So at that time I talked with the HOD ma'am. What to pick? So they told IT is best for you because I was more inclined towards software. So I picked IT, and then the rest is history. But then I started in 2015, and I was not able to interact properly with many people. There was a huge amount of people from all over the country and all. But ultimately, I gained a lot of friends along the way, especially in my IT years. That is from second year onwards. First year was quite uneventful for me. Second year is when I showed my true potential, because the first year had a lot of subjects, but I was more interested in computer programming. As one of my faculties is here, Preeti Moe ma'am. It was so interesting that I had to. She was in my bus. I am a localite, so she was in my bus, and I was directly showing her the laptop and my programming codes in the bus itself. So that's one thing. And another thing is that in second year I started, as Cherry ma'am said, I started making games in second year, like C++. We had programming paradigms, which is coding in C++. I made a game using C++. We were taught Java and software development. I made a game using Java Android. Then we were told to use data structures to make something. I made something related to game, a bookshop or something. Then third year came. Third year was very interesting. I was talking about networking and all. And then next semester, like Ankit said, we had an internship semester. I was again hopeless, but ultimately I got into Makers Lab, and Makers Lab shaped me to become what I am today. Like they told me that, Jay, you do anything what you want to do. And then I was started making games for them, and then they were impressed. And then they decided that you just directly come to our place. I said that, let me complete final year first. So final year and then placements, I first got into Vodafone Voice. I spent 9 months in Voice, and then my final year project, happened. Uh, I made a game as well, which educated you all, means second year students mostly, in the field of microprocessor techniques. So you will soon learn this subject if you get into Symbiosis. And coincidentally, Ankit Pati here was the judge of the exhibition. Means we had an exhibition for our final year project, and one of the judges was Ankit Pati himself. Ankit Pati is a legend among the in Symbiosis in terms of coding. So basically, I got into Voice. Nothing interesting there. I was just learning how to use BI, business intelligence tools, and then. But the real interesting thing came with my second job. That is with Makers Lab Tech Mahindra. So as I said, I did my internship there, so they knew that I had potential of making games. So they tasked me with making Unity applications. So basically, what is Unity? Unity is a game engine. Game engine is a tool that is used to make games. And software. And as Ankit Pati rightfully said, that you need to have a repository of your games if you want to make a portfolio. So GitHub is a good way to make a repository as such. And unit and tools like Gitkraken and GitHub Web and Bitbucket and SourceTree, SourceTree, not Bitbucket. SourceTree have good tools in which you can compile Unity applications to a GitHub friendly nature. That is, it will remove all useless codes and all. Additionally, I was given the opportunity to teach Bangladeshi startups about Unity development as well. Like, I was tasked with that, and office people as well. Means there were people from office who were in some program. I also trained them in Unity as well, and they were asking a lot of questions. So I am prepared to get a lot of doubts solved. Additionally, I was CR of my first year college. So they just made me CR because they thought I was some nerdy person. And then I had more friendship with the teachers rather than the students. Means I was having a more closer bond with the teachers, and I would recommend you to have a close bond with your teachers because, first of all, if you are going somewhere, they'll definitely write your LOR, and secondly, they will help you as much as they can. This is the most helpful faculty I have ever encountered in my academic life as well. So my journey has been a very simple one, but a very interesting and a very fruitful journey. So that's from my end.
Jay, it was really direct from heart. बिल्कुल सही मतलब one thing I like the most is if someone says you can do it, that can turn your life. Means अगर कोई बोलता है कि हाँ आप कर सकते हो, then you will definitely do it. So
Yes,
motivation.
I basically got a lot of Instagram messages from prospective students पूछने के लिए कि Symbiosis कैसा है. So I told them it's one of the best. It has a great faculty and a lot of things from my own personal experience. So that's what, and it's great that you all are picking Symbiosis as your choice of university, especially in the field of engineering. It is a very rising university. Thank you.
Yes, you are right, Jay. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Avisha to discuss about himself. Means how he's handling everything along with a student, because he's a student also. He is I mean handling the means he's becoming an entrepreneur also. That how he's handling all such things and how he can motivate you, or how his
Hello, am I audible?
speech will be for him. I would like to invite. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I am Avi, and I'm a third year student currently studying in SIT. So, basically, like I came in SIT in 2019, and to be honest, the environment at SIT is very good. Like I was an introvert kind of a person, but I met so many people all over the India. At Pune, so it actually gave me confidence to be an extrovert and build confidence. So basically, the best part of my first year was that they introduced a new subject called Tinker Lab, where I could, like, even though I was in CSE department, I was able to explore other fields like electronics and mechanical and civil. So that gave me a good overview that what exactly I am getting into when I'm coming to CSE. And then there is a very good coding culture in our college, like in the terms of clubs. Like I've been a part of the DSC club, so the coding culture there is very nice. So that sums up my first year, to be honest. And then when my second year started, the corona happened. So since the learning was online, so that's where the idea of Review Rewards was born. Like Review Rewards is the name of my startup. And basically what I do is that I build platform for brands and manufacturers where they incentivize, like my platform incentivizes users in terms of if you give a review on my platform, you receive a gift voucher for a certain amount. So that's how you get motivated to give the review. So this was a open, like this was an unexplored space in India, because I don't think you have platforms where you review and you get awarded for that. So I started coding. So on the way, like I had a lot of problems, because the thing is I was the only person who was coding and also managing the business side because I didn't have any funding back then. So my seniors at DSC, like it's a developer student club at Symbiosis, they helped me a lot in terms of teaching me web dev and as well as solving my doubts. They were always there for me. And that's how I converted the small project into a full-fledged product. And then I took this to market. Like the thing is that for the first 6 months, I did not have a good response. But then I slowly approached investors and venture capitalists, and they all gave me a year. They appreciated my idea. But the thing was that I was too young to raise a lot of money, because the thing is that they definitely saw the potential, but there's always the risk factor involved. So after some hassle and after a lot of time, I got the initial seed funding, that is for the 20 million rupees, that is 2 crores. And I was like, the Symbiosis also helped me to spread my startup everywhere. Like I'm sure you all must have seen the ads in the different websites and newspapers as well. So I'm grateful for that also. And the thing is that our campus has a mixed blend of entrepreneurship and the people with good coding mind. So being from a business family, like I'm a Gujarati, so it's a good combination that I know the technical part and as well as the business part. So I always like I appreciate people, or I just always give it a year when anyone comes up with their startup idea, because the thing is that everyone is very scared, that they feel that the already the business or the startup exists, but they don't know is that, like if you go to a normal store, a supermarket, you will see 100 different brands of soap, but the thing is that all 100 survive. So there's always market, you have your specific target audience. So never refrain from doing your own startup, because the thing is that for example, there are 4 different types of soaps here, and every, like, in the sense ki every time all the products have been sold. So you'll take some time, definitely. See, you need to be patient whenever you are a startup owner or an aspiring entrepreneur. But the thing is that you always have to keep on improvising. Like it's not like you should always take criticism really well whenever you start with anything, be it a project or be it an achievement. I've got criticized a lot for achieving a lot of things, but that's what's made me improvise on my skill set. So and also, like in the first year, you will come across a lot of technologies and new languages. So you will be very keen to learn and explore each and every language and each and every technology. But my advice to you all is that just focus on 2 to 3 technologies and make sure that you make proper projects and you work on open source contributions regarding those skill sets. So for example, if you are into C++, then you make sure that you do C++ really well. You do the web services of C++. Then you go for C. If you go for C programming, then you do C programming really well. You go for embedded C programming, and then you contribute to open source projects. So that's how you will develop a skill set which, like, you can monetize that skill set by using freelancing or by taking a professional job. So that's there. And a brief about me, like, in the sense, I'm also a part of many NGOs. Like the thing is that during COVID, the one of the major businesses which grew, like not exactly businesses but people who required the technology, were the COVID distribution, like the people who distributed the masks and the uh, other COVID essentials, and the NGOs who helped people who are homeless and needy. So I helped them go online. Like I took their platform digital, and that's what I do in my free time. Like I'm a experienced web developer, and I've worked on a lot of projects. So I'm a full stack developer here. So the thing is that after working with them also, I realized that a lot of digitalization is left in our country. So even if you take app dev or web dev, something of that sort of development side, not into AIML, so there's a lot of scope. So please don't listen to people who tell you that web development is declining or app development is declining. So it's nothing of that sort. And just whatever you learn, just make sure you have good projects and open source contributions. That's it from my end, guys. If there are any questions, if anyone wants to discuss any startup ideas or want any help regarding the technique, the coding part at campus, I'll be there for you all. So you all can contact me. I'll just give you all my details in the chat box, my LinkedIn profile and other.
So if any questions, you can post it in the chat so that they will be able to answer you.
Hello. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, someone, Charvi Jaiswal, she asked to see the GitHub profile actually. So I'll
Okay.
just share my screen and show my GitHub profile. I'll give the link also over here. You can visit, and I'll just maybe take you through a tour as well. So, yeah, how do I share this screen?
I'll make you presenter, Ankit. So I think
Yeah,
probably you will be able to share. Just a minute.
you're now the presenter, right? So there should be switch audio, raise hand. Hmm. But there is no option to share the screen actually. That's pretty weird.
Just a minute.
Ankit, you have been given the presenter role, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Meanwhile, as you share, I will explain.
Yeah, you can explain.
Yeah, Atharva Kulkarni asked from where should I learn coding? I only have a basic idea about it. For me, I used everyone's favorite website, Tutorials Points, Geek for Geeks, and what you can say, Code Academy. I use a website called Code Academy. And if you want to go a bit advanced in coding, then you should go to the APIs of those particular languages. That's what I realized. Like, it means if you want to go a bit more advanced in coding, then you need to go. Then you need to read the APIs. Like for web development, you can for JavaScript web development, you can go to the Mozilla websites APIs. If you want to learn C++, then there is C++ APIs. If you want to learn Unity, then there is Unity scripting APIs. So, but if you want to begin, then I recommend these websites: Tutorials Points, Geeks for Geeks, Code Academy, and there was a website I used to refer for my Java stuff called as Java T Point as well. I hope it's still there. And W3 Schools, correct, Sumedh, for web development. So these are basic websites which you can use. But if you want to go a bit more detailed, then use the scripting APIs of those particular languages if you want to go a bit deeper.
Uh, Hi, Ishan. So the thing is that I got my startup idea when my second year started online. So the thing is that I wanted to buy a laptop so that I could get into online learning better. So the thing is that the laptop I chose, my parents were quite being typical Indian parents. Like it did not have many reviews or unboxing videos as it was new to the market. So they were very reluctant to buy me the laptop. So that's when I realized that even if after I bought the laptop, I didn't review the laptop on my own, because even after facing so many hardships. So that's when I realized that we need a reviewing system in India where we need to incentivize the Indian public as well as the people abroad, because the thing is that there are a lot of review websites, review engines, but the thing is that they only pay those people who are very much renowned in that industry of reviewing. So that's how the basic idea generated. And then along with my second year studies, I also started coding the platform, which currently is you can refer to the platform at reviewrewards.com. And that's how the idea of review rewards was born.
Yeah, okay. So Pranay said everyone said that C++ is preferred for web development. Okay, who said it? First of all, can't Python be used as a substitute? I've seen a lot of people use Python for web development, especially using the Flask and Django framework. Yeah, yeah. Avisha can also explain. He's a professional web developer. I only used Express myself. I only use
So
Express for making
yes,
website.
like not I've not heard people saying using C++ for web development, but the major two stacks which are used globally, or the three stacks, are the .NET stack, the Django stack, and the MERN stack, which is popularly differentiated into three different languages. So Django stack is related to Python. Like if you're well versed with Python or comfortable in Python, then you can go for the Django stack. If you are interested in JavaScript, so like if you know it really well, then you could go for the Merge stack, that is Mongo and Express, React and
Net,
Net, like, what was N? I don't know. Like I'm not into Merge stack, but
Node.
Node, yeah, Node.js. So that's there, and yes, you can use C++, but the thing is that it is not that user friendly because it does not provide you a proper GUI, like a interface, so that you can develop high scalable platforms.
Okay.
So,
So Devar asked, should I know basics of coding before joining, or will I learn comfortably in SIT from basics? So basically, Devarsh, yeah, and added of Java in 2014-15, but they will start everything from scratch, literally. Like they are going to teach you even physics from H.C. Verma books as well. Yeah. So basically, no need to worry about coding if you don't know. If you can learn starting from C language, and then they will gradually increase your knowledge. Like first you learn procedure based languages like C language. Then they will teach you C++ and object oriented programming. Then Java, Python, and then so SQL and so on.
so Sumedh, your
Charvi
question.
Singh, can you?
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. So Charvi asked, so could you tell us some things which you wish you had or had not done in 4 years of college? Okay, from my end, socializing. Honestly, I did not socialize much with my peers. I was not a hostelite due to that. I was due to that because of the reason that I am not a hostelite. I did not take part in much events like Reverb and all. But however, I was a TechFest event head. Like I conducted a lot of events in my TechFest, and I wish I had not means focused. Yeah, I just wish I had socialized more. Yeah, Avi, you can answer someone's question.
Yeah, so Sumedh, you asked that was it difficult to manage? Yes, it was very difficult to manage because the thing is that I had to do my college side by side and it was online. So it was a new task for me altogether. But the thing is that the curriculum which SIT provides, it also included a subject called Agile Software Development, and it also included an entrepreneurship program. So it always helped me to improvise my pitch deck, my SRS diagrams, all of that, whichever is required to pitch investors. So I feel that I got lucky that in my second year I had both of these subjects. So I had to, like, I did not have it that easy, but it definitely reduced some amount of effort on my end, since I had to study it up as a part of my syllabus itself. And regarding your resume, the thing is that you could, like, this is just a suggestion, have as many open source contributions as possible, along with some good meaningful projects in the end. Like, in the sense ki, like, if you are into web dev or app dev, then make sure that your projects are hosted on respective servers. Like if it's a web related project, then it's hosted on a server, and if it's a app related, then on the Play Store and App Store respectively. So that's just a suggestion. And
Avi, there is one more question for you regarding your finances.
sorry, where is it? Okay,
Avisha, do you
yeah,
manage
yeah.
your finances on your own?
Yeah,
Or
I manage my finances on my own, and I do have people working for me. But the thing is that, okay, huh. So the thing is that I don't have any MBA graduates me for now, because I have a shared resource with my investor. Like, the company name is Rewardport. It's a huge company, so they provide me with their resources in terms of the HR department and the sales team. I've built my own marketing team and the development team on my end, and yeah, like, the thing is that due to COVID, the businesses are slow, and currently I'm upgrading, like, I'm transforming my startup into another level. So the business is, like, kind of on a standstill mode, like, in terms of progress. But I am integrating and I'm tying up with Google as well for like a proper review engine. And I'm also partnering up with a famous brand known as Kellogg's, if you all have heard. So I'm managing their whole reviewing system. So that's there. And did you know any coding languages? No, I did not know any coding languages, though I knew that in my first semester I would have C. So I just went through the basics for the C language with the sole purpose that I don't have to study at campus. That's it. Like C in terms of okay, how do you
How
manage?
to be a god of coding? Ankit, to answer kar.
Whoa.
Okay. So
Whoa.
the thing here is, I am no god of coding, first of all. Okay. It's just a misconception people have. It's just that I know how to, I'm a god of Googling. Okay. I just know how to Google stuff and do things on my own. So it's not that I remember all the libraries or all the languages by heart. No. Okay. If you try that, that's a losing strategy. So unfortunately, there are lots of companies that will interview and they will ask you to solve problems without Googling. So the thing here is, the solution to that is basically you should have done a lot of Googling beforehand and a lot of problem solving beforehand, so that it basically becomes second nature to you. And even if you can't solve a particular problem in the interview, you can at least point in the right direction. Sometimes they will accept that, interviewers will accept that as valid, because ultimately when you're working in the company you will have access to Google. So but you should not be completely lost, that's the thing, without Google. And that only happens if you have done a lot of practice with Google. Okay, when you Google, then you find a solution, a tutorial, an article, and then you do it. You type the commands in yourself. Okay, one thing here I would say is, see, as I said, I'm a god of Googling. I never said I'm a god of copy pasting. Okay. So you Google, but you never copy paste. That's the trick here. Okay. You understand what is being suggested on Stack Overflow or on whatever websites, W3 Schools, Tutorials Point, Java T Point, and then you type it in yourself. Okay. Never copy paste. Never, just click a single download button and then it downloads a .java file or a .c file. You compile it, you run it, then you don't learn anything. You type it yourself. Okay, even if it's a 500-line piece of code. While typing it, you'll figure out that it doesn't have to be 500 lines. What I need is maybe just 50 lines of that. Okay, so that's how you become good at coding. Okay, and of course, you look at other people's code, because in the industry you will not be writing, you'll be reading a lot more than you will be writing. So you look at other people's code, open source code. GitHub is a very good resource, not just for putting your own code up there, but looking at other people's code as well. I would love to share my screen, but for some reason I have not been able to figure out how to share with WebEx. Even through Googling, it pointed me at an extension, but that extension somehow doesn't work. So, but I shared the link here. I'll share it again for those who missed it maybe. I would suggest you visit my profile, visit other profiles as well. On GitHub, you'll find a lot of profiles. But can you please, Avi and Jay, if you have GitHub profiles, I would like you to share your GitHub profiles as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that,
wish I had done. I had followed your advice, but I just only have like two games on my GitHub. I'll just share my website and my games on GitHub. Yeah, just wait, hold on.
Yeah, sure.
And I have some message, and I have just stored some audio logs in there. Here is my GitHub. Okay, sure.
Yeah. One more thing. Actually, someone asked this question. I've been meaning to answer this. So it's that someone asked, should I learn something outside before joining SIT, or will everything be taken care of at SIT? So the answer here is, before joining, yeah, as Jay and Avi already answered, you'll get a pretty complete a picture after you join. So before joining, even if you don't know much, it's not a problem. But after joining, you have to study beyond the syllabus. Okay, if you want to get into
Yeah.
good placements, yeah, you have to study beyond the syllabus. See, college caters to a minimum common denominator. Okay, so I mean, minimum common denominator means think about the average folks in your class. The teachers always attempt to pull them up. Okay, so when they pull them up, there will be a, there's a, top 10% or top 20% of students who will feel that, oh, we are not being given attention, we are not being pulled up. Yeah, that's because the bottom 70% are being, bottom 70 or 80% are being pulled up to your level. So this top 20%, you have to pull yourself up manually. I mean, you can't rely on the teachers to do that because they're busy pulling up the other 70%. That's more important, right? So you can take care of yourself, this top 20%. So you have to code on your own, you have to go well beyond the syllabus. That's on you. Okay, that's what I would say here.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Ishan and Argadeep, I am glad you are asking questions about game development. That's what I wanted to hear, music to my ears. Ishan asked, I have no idea how to start or get into game dev though. It means, okay, so basically I also had no idea beforehand. I just like to make games. So you can start making, you just need to have a spark. Like, I want to make this. I want to make a role-playing game. So how will I make it? You start searching. What engines are good for good role-playing games? There's this RPG Maker, there's Unity, there's Unreal. You can even start using C++ or C language as well. Like you can use your basic if-else conditions, or you can use your loops and all to make a simple game. Just require input like, hello, what is my name? Then it will say something. Like a chatbot can also be a form of game. There are text-based games, there are visual novels, etc. and all. Additionally, Argreep said, I don't play much games. How do I do well in game dev? You don't need you don't need, like, I also hardly play games myself. Even though people call me an avid gamer, I am not that. I get burnt out easily when I play games. So you can do well in game dev. You need to have good skills and you have a good design knowledge, design thinking as well. Like if you want, you don't know how games work, but you can watch gameplay videos and get an inspiration of your own idea of a game, like a game which you yourself will love. Because the purpose of making games is to provide fun and also to make money as well. And also to Ishan, you can start with Unity game engine. To be honest, it has all the basic stuff and has a rich community as well. Pygame. So the person who made using Pygame, was it?
So just a second. Nihar is asking me. Okay, one thing I would suggest: please don't ping me privately. You can ping it so everyone can see. This is a
Yeah.
class.
This is a public discussion.
So please don't
Yeah,
ping privately. I'm not calling out anyone in particular. It's just that 2 or 3 people have pinged me privately. That's why I'm saying. Do
Yeah,
it to
I'm also getting
everyone.
private messages.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it's a class. Okay, in a class we don't talk privately. So yeah. So Nihar is asking, can you please shed some light on how someone should approach contributing to open source projects? Okay, that's one question, and second one is about GSOC. So first of all, about GSOC, I'll because that's the easier and shorter answer. I have no clue. I tried getting into GSOC, but we could not. I mean, due to other commitments, it was in the third year, so the internship commitments and the college coursework is also pretty. I would say pretty uh, voluminous. It's not difficult, but it's voluminous. So be prepared for that volume. As far as GSOC is concerned, we tried, but we could not make it through. I had a team of very good alumni. I mean, very good students who are now alumni, but we could not crack it. So keep trying GSOC. If you need any help, specific help, do ask me. But a broad question like how to crack GSOC is something, unfortunately, I am not qualified to answer. Second thing is about the open source projects. Yeah, this is something, again, that's music to my ears, as Jay would put it. Open source projects, you start, okay. First of all, you can contact me. I'll get you started in some open source projects that are simple to contribute to, that will give you some footing on how open source projects work, how you can communicate, how you can communicate with their owners. Okay, open source does not mean you can just go and edit anything, just click a button and edit something. No, you you get the whole project to your machine, you make some change, you test it. When you make a change, it's your responsibility to test it. You test it that it works, and then you ask the maintainer, okay, see, here's the change I've made. Would you like to incorporate it into your project? Sometimes the maintainer will say yes. Many times, rather many times the maintainer will say yes. Sometimes he will say no. Okay, this is something I don't want to incorporate in my project. But then that's not something you should get disheartened with. And I will, if you contact me through email or whatever, I'll get you started with projects where the maintainers will be more welcoming and will accept your contributions. Uh, some easier contributions where you don't need to have a lot of programming knowledge to contribute. You can even contribute documentation. But to contribute documentation, you first need to understand the code and what it does. Okay. That's how you start. Um, I'll I'll get you into some projects if you contact me afterwards. Right? Does that answer your question, Nihar?
Okay, so Arush asked, with what base should we be ready before entering colleges? Like which languages? As we have mentioned before, anybody can join because we are starting with the basics, like basics of programming in when we start college. But the thing is, what do you do during your college years? As Ankit said rightly, the real thing is, what do you want to learn during your college years? I myself learned JavaScript and Unity C#. It's up to you what do you want to learn during your college, because before your college you don't need to learn anything. There's no prerequisites as such. If you want to learn something, then it's up to you. Like if you I myself learned C programming because I was going to learn Java in my 12th 11th 12th. But up to you but you're going to start with C programming directly, so you don't need any base beforehand. However, you need maths, definitely. And also participating in hackathons is definitely a good opportunity. Ankit himself took part in a lot of hackathons and is a hackathon winner himself, right?
No, actually, I'm not a hackathon winner. That's because
But
I only
you
yeah, yeah.
but you got a good ranking in some hackathon, I remember.
Yeah. We made it to the finals in the Hubli hackathon. What was the hackathon name? I forgot the name of
Smart
the
India.
hackathon. Smart India hackathon. Yeah, Smart India hackathon. So we went to Hubli. We made it to the finals. We presented to officials from the ministry. That was which ministry was that? Home Ministry, I guess. It was a very important government of India ministry. Not to the minister, but we presented to the IAS officers, basically, of officers
Ankit,
dealing
I
with it.
remember, I guess it was related to some fire in forests, right?
No. That was maybe some other team. My team was working on a facility for, again, I forgot half the
Okay,
things.
not a
This is
problem.
how I forget. It was about, yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot about that because that's something that, yeah, escaped me. Right. But you can find the unfinished code, as in whatever was working at that point. In hackathon, you don't build a complete, production grade project. So it's just some kind of working code. You can find the unfinished code on my GitHub. Let's see who can find it first. Because
Okay.
I can't find it right now. I have 90 projects on GitHub and I don't remember what that project really was. But it's there on GitHub. You can find it.
Okay, so Kedar Hardikar asked, at home, what should be the minimum configuration of a laptop and desktop so we can practice? You need high. No, I was joking. Basically, you need a good laptop which has a proper compiler for those languages, basically. And also, but for game development engines like game engines, they require they require specifications. Like Unity requires 4 GB RAM, Unreal Engine requires 8 GB RAM, memory has like 10 GB, 20 to 50 GB of memory. uh, Proper OS is required. Like Unity has support for Linux, Mac, and Windows, and I don't know for Unreal has for Mac and Windows, if I remember correctly. And but you need a proper compiler, you need a proper runtime environment if you are using Java and all. Like actual it's more of a software than the hardware. But for game engines, hardware is also important, because if you want to run good games, if you want to make good games, then you need the proper hardware.
So
Hope
yeah,
that-
some people asked about Linux and VMware. So yeah, here I'll tell that yeah, Unreal has Linux support, and
Good.
it has. Not only that, the Unreal Engine is actually open source. Do you know that? Open source, but yeah, it is under a restrictive license. You can't take the source and make some
Yeah, you
project.
cannot fork it.
Yeah, you cannot fork it. Yeah, you cannot fork it, and you cannot make something commercial and sell it. But you can read the source code. The whole source code is available on GitHub. In fact, if you look at my GitHub profile, you'll see there's a badge from Epic. That's because you need to join that organization to access that source code. Jay, you should try it. You'll understand
Yeah,
that code better.
definitely.
Yeah. So just click on that link on my GitHub profile. There's a badge from Epic, okay, organization badge. That's because you need that badge before you can access the source code. But you can get it anyone can get it. You don't have to be, a coder even to get it, right? But you can't. The only thing is you have to agree to the terms and conditions. You can't fork that repo and other things, right? Second thing is Nihar was asking about Linux. Should we get started with Linux in the first year itself? Okay, the best time to start learning Linux was when you started learning computers. The second best time is today. Okay, just start it immediately. Okay, because this is going to be it'll open a lot of opportunities for you. Web development is entirely Linux. I have never literally seen a web server running Windows. There are web servers running Windows. Stack Overflow, famously, Stack Overflow itself runs on Windows Server. But that is one exception that proves the rule. Everything else you see online, Google, Facebook runs CentOS, Google runs their own customized OS, customized Linux OS. Facebook runs CentOS, which is from Red Hat, and everything. Facebook means Instagram, WhatsApp. This all comes under Facebook, and Netflix. All the whole. I mean, you name a website aside from Stack Overflow, everything runs on Linux. Even Apple's own websites, they run on Linux servers. They don't run on Mac OS. Okay, so it opens a lot of opportunities because Linux knowledge means, see, the why it opens opportunities, two reasons. First, there's a lot of demand for Linux. Everything runs on Linux. Second, very few people actually know how to use Linux properly. The reason is most people, they start off with Windows. Even I started with Windows, by the way. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But they start off with Windows and they never change their operating systems. Max to max, they'll buy a MacBook and then they'll go to Mac OS. But few people actually learn Linux properly. So there's a huge demand and there's a very constricted supply. You learn Linux, you can quote your price on the market. Okay, so I would suggest do that. And yeah, VMware, yeah. So one thing here is do not dual boot, do not use VMware. Okay, that's because if you dual boot, I have seen people dual booting Linux for 10 years, 15 years, they don't know Linux at all. The thing is, every time they'll just go into Windows. Every time they face a difficulty in Linux, instead of trying to solve it, they'll just go into Windows and do it. That way they never learn. Okay, so it has to be single boot. I have stopped recommending dual boot completely. There was a time initially when even I used to dual boot, but I quickly realized, within 6 months, that it's not. I mean, I can either learn Linux or I can stay on Windows. There's no middle way. There's no going dual booting or virtual machines. So I would strongly recommend against that. Just wipe Windows and install Linux. Okay, that's
Okay, so yeah. So some people were asking about text editors and IDEs. So basically, personally on my end, I use Visual Studio Code for my web development and scripting languages like Python and JavaScript. And Java, yes, you can use. My brother has been using Visual Studio Code for Java, but it's mostly for the terminal-based compilation. But if you want to make something more complicated and all like web applications and whatnot, you can use Visual Studio Code, yes. But if you want to make it easier, then you can use NetBeans or Eclipse type of IDEs. Please suggest me from where I should learn about programming. We have already mentioned the websites before, Devarsh, like Tutorials Point, Java T Point, Geeks for Geeks, etc. They have basic knowledge of programming. But if you want hands-on experience, then you should go to Code Academy. They have hands-on, if I recall correctly. And for Rigved, C++ is basically the de facto language for all programming. It's one of the heart and souls. And for game development also, definitely C++ is going to be used, as Unreal Engine uses C++. And for AI, Python is very popular. Yeah, so basically you can use Visual Studio Code for your programming throughout your 4 years. But if you want to make some things easier, you can download some IDEs like NetBeans and PyCharm at times. Definitely, Pranay. You need if you have good knowledge of your artistic softwares, you will have an edge in making better games. My games are mostly a pixelated mess. I required I was struggling. I'm not that good of an artist, so I was making such games like, no, I cannot share. So it was having very great horrible art, but it was still very good in terms of gameplay. Whereas if you have a good you need to have a good blend of artwork and gameplay in order to make a very good game. So if you have a good 3D software or a 2D software knowledge, then you have blend of uh, A Sprite, A Sprite, etc. I imagine, okay, so Mridul, how do I imagine the role play in the game? It's simple because I have been playing games a lot and I have been watching videos of people playing games. Yeah, it's mostly the difficult part. Game design is actually the most complicated part because you're designing the whole game. You're designing the levels, you're designing the economy, you're designing the combat, you're designing the levels, etc. So you have to think. That's why there's a documentation called as game design document where you write all the things. It's similar to an SRS in software development. It's called a GDD. That's a game design document. So you note down everything what you think of. Who is going to be the target audience of the game? Like, I want to make a game for college students. So this college students is my demographic. What is going to be the game type? I thought that I will make small games. Like, I'll make short and easy games. Correct, Preeti ma'am. Software requirements specifications. So what is my target audience? I already wrote it. What is my genre? This micro games. What is my aim to teach microprocessors to the students and so on. So I take these small ideas. Yes, Argadeep, I use ads to market my games. I use personal marketing. I do not we approach it, there's a website known as itch.io. No, I do not sell. My games are still not good enough to be Steam caliber, even though there are horrible games on Steam, but I haven't put my standards yet. I do not want to lower my standards. But basically, there's a website known as itch.io. Itch.io is a website where you can upload games and upload games, play other games, take part in hackathons. In game development, a hackathon is called as a game jam, wherein you have like 72 hours or 1 week or a lot of time, and you have to make a game within the time limit and upload it to them. The theme is on the spot as well. So you make games. You can upload games on itch.io, and you can also sell games as well. You market your games using your social media. Basically, there's an embed link they provide and all. Yes, I have uploaded games on itch.io. Wait, I'll just share a link of my game. This is my itch.io profile. Yes, I made my final year project was a mobile game, Pranay. It was a very interesting WarioWare style game. WarioWare is a very small games you can play, and then there's a one big boss game and all. Yeah, Ankit also played this game and he himself enjoyed it. I hope he enjoyed it.
Yes, I did. Your microprocessor game, right? I remember.
Yeah. It was a very everybody loved it. It actually helped students in teaming up. The students teamed up together. They huddled up, and they were collaborating and how to beat this game and all. Like there was a lot of complicated topics, but through teamwork and efforts they were able to do it. Yeah, I made a CID game for my first ever game. CID था किसने? Anybody but who was CID? Yeah, so I made
I
a
was.
game based
I used to. Now it's. I
CID.
think now it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. But due to that, I made a game based on CID. So that won like second prize in originality in the game jam. Like, and it was ranked 18th overall out of 100 submissions. So I got some prize due to that.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually looking through your profile on that HIO. Where's that microprocessor game? I'm looking for that.
I am going to upload it soon because it was
okay.
it's yeah, I just need to find its APK file someday. It's on GitHub though. It's on GitHub though.
Okay.
So you can fork it.
Yeah, maybe build it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can build it and you can make your own version. You can teach data structures, etc. Whatever you can.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, any other questions?
Mridul is asking, can you little guide me how should I start, whether it's coding or learn? Yeah, basically, Mridul, the college will teach you basically how to set up things. Otherwise, there are YouTube tutorials on how to set up the environment. Like if you want to download C, if you want to start with C, how to start with what IDE to use, what compiler to use, like GCC if you are using Windows, and I do not know what for Linux. Then
GCC
Linux
only.
also uses
GCC
only.
Linux is itself compiled with GCC.
Yeah, GCC, you can use GCC. You download the GCC compiler, you set it up, then you use the IDE or the code editor, and you use the terminal to compile and load the program, etc. So yeah, Mridul, you can use VS Code. There's a extension for opening a console. Pranay, just start with single player games, Pranay. To be honest, you should not jump into these multiplayer games or MMOs or 3D games or AAA type games. You start with simple 2D games like Space Invaders or Ping Pong or Breakout or something. You slowly build up to that level of 3D games, and then like Tetris and all. Then you make arcade games, then you make action games, platformers. Like you go through the generation of games, like 8-bit games, 16-bit games, 32-bit games, and then so on, 3D games, high quality 3D games, and all that. Yes, Snake and all. Yes, Unity also has tutorials to get you started. Correct, Nihar. Unity has one of the best communities in game development. You find anything on Unity themselves have begun teaching people about game development. Unreal is also making strides in game development community teaching. Yeah, you can make 2D multiplayer game, but that requires a lot of knowledge about networking actually, like LAN and LAN. Networking, I think you might be learning in third year, like all the OS and all. That will be going over your head. Basically, you're going to be learning about networking concepts, and these networking concepts be used for your multiplayer games, like distributed computing and all.
I think we'll take one more last question and then we can stop. Probably students can connect to you via GitHub profile, or you can send your contact
Yes,
details.
ma'am. I'll share my Instagram profile as well.
Yes. Everybody can do that. Ankit and Avi, you also do that.
Yes,
One last question we will take and we will stop.
Yeah, Arush, good. You have asked correctly in the correct time, Arush, because the thing is the reason why I am here is because SIT has just now added honors majors in CS, major courses. Like, how you have majors in specialization fields, right? Yeah, AI, ML, cloud computing, cybersecurity. We were not lucky to have any of this. Like, if we had, then I would have immediately gone for game development. So you're all lucky that you are having honors. Additionally, there's also SIBM's DBM program. Like, Symbiosis Management Institute. Yeah, it is one of the most popular institutes. So they have a diploma program where you can apply side by side as well. So you can get Arush has shared the list of all. So that's what I'm saying, that there is a lot of opportunities for you all, especially in Symbiosis. They are not only they're not keeping a stagnant syllabus. They are expanding upon it and making it very, very, very detailed, very exciting as well, honestly. So yeah, that's what. Thank you, Arush.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. So, it is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. And I want to state that we are grateful to our alumni here, Ankit, Jai, Avi. We thank you for being with us this time. It has been a great pleasure listening to you all. And I'm sure all the aspiring students are motivated by you. And we'll see some more entrepreneurs from this batch as well. So I also specifically thank our technical arrangement team here, and I thank you very much once again to all of you for joining in, and thank you, alumni.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
So
ma'am.
we can end
Thank
the
you,
session.
everyone. And if anyone has any doubts in college, please, you all can approach me. I can definitely help you all out on campus.
Same here. You can contact me on Instagram. I'll also give. No, I cannot give my phone number here, but I can give you my. You can contact me on Instagram. I am available.
Yeah. I have given my email address, contact@ankitpati.in. Feel free to contact me there. Or if you visit my GitHub profile, you will find my Twitter and other social media handles also. I'm not on Instagram, but you can contact me on Twitter or email or whatever works for you. I am available.
Yeah. Will be a pleasure to meet you all soon someday. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
It
you.
was a
Bye.
good session. Bye bye.
Bye, all. We can end this session now.
Yeah.
Yeah.